In today's episode, we take a look at a case from 2016. Northamptonshire police reported a body was found in undergrowth by workers clearing up a roadside verge. The body had lain undiscovered for several years. Police said officers investigating the discovery in Northampton were also looking for the nearby disappearance of a Nigerian man in September 2013. So let's go further into this case, and believe me, it's a strange one. And a few years later, police managed to piece together the curious events. Here is the story. The skeleton of Adeyemi Olugbayi, who was 31 years old, was found by litter pickers in 2016 in Thorpelands, Northampton. He was last seen running from a group of men. We go back to that day, September 13th, 2013. Adeyemi, also widely known as Big Man or Baz, first came to the UK from Nigeria in 2006 on a course to hire skilled migrants after studying and graduating in petrochemical engineering. Adeyemi was a very clever giant of a man. The studying all those years had paid off, and his plan was to do several years of experience in the UK, then stay in the industry and move worldwide with a job. The work he landed in the UK didn't unfortunately last. The recession hit in 2007, and the company he was working for lost vital testing contracts and went bust in 2009. Unable to find work, he still held out hope he could get back into the petrochemical industry. But no one was hiring, and the recession had hit every firm badly. He still attended interviews, but rarely these jobs appeared anymore. The jobs were advertised. He had the qualifications, but lacked the experience which was needed in these positions. Adeyemi briefly worked in London as a street cleaner before moving to Northampton to be with family and hopefully some better prospects. While in Northampton and out of work, he was approached by a gang member to start dealing drugs, which proved successful and moved into the more profitable crack cocaine. His size and height made him look dangerous and handy, which meant he was never a target like some dealers are. But in reality, he was a gentle giant. Adeyemi had told his family that he had found work in the chemical industry and he was doing very well. I suppose from a certain view, Adeyemi wasn't really lying. Around 8 AM on September 13th, 2013, in North Home Court, Thorpelands, Adeyemi arrived in a green Nissan Micra to deal crack cocaine to a woman who was also in a car. A resident nearby was standing in her daughter's bedroom window when she saw the sudden attack. Adeyemi signalled the woman to get into his Micra and sat next to the woman. Seconds after, a dark blue saloon pulled up, possibly a BMW or a Mercedes. 3 men with hoods up ran out of the car. The woman in the car was shouting and screaming, "No, no." One of the males was carrying a knife. He opened the driver's door and forcibly stabbed the driver. He wasn't threatened, the man just attacked him. The witness from the window then ran to her telephone to call 999. She described the silver-coloured knife as being about a foot long. The woman who was in the car with Adeyemi said the 3 men surrounded the car and gave no warning before attacking him. A group of 4 to 6 males surrounded the car who arrived on foot. One of them nodded to me as if to say they weren't going to hurt me. She watched as Adeyemi escaped the car and ran down an alleyway. It was the last time she saw him. Meanwhile, the 3 males stopped to search the car before chasing the 31-year-old. Another witness stated 3 men and a woman got out of a green Nissan Micra, and one of the men appeared to thrust a knife into the driver. After the attack, Adeyemi was reported missing. At the time of the missing person report, it was circulated to local newspapers and TV news channels. Police said they believed that Adeyemi had been stabbed due to his involvement in the drugs trade. Northamptonshire police said the investigation was very much a live case. And he said someone out there knows what happened, and I would implore them to tell us so we can give Adeyemi the closure his family and friends need. We need to know where he is. Police held out hope that he was alive and in hiding, but that went slimmer every year. The other theory was the men chasing kidnapped him or killed him and took the body. In September 2016, police reported a team of litter pickers found what they appeared to be a skull under a thick 12-foot hedge in a wooded area off Billing Rock Road, which led to them calling the police. The man's skeleton was later identified as Adeyemi's. Examination of the badly weathered checked shirt found a single stab wound to the chest area. However, pathologists could not find any damage to the skeleton, and there was no soft tissue to examine, which meant they was unable to conclude, beyond reasonable doubt, that the 31-year-old died of a stab wound. A murder investigation by Northamptonshire police ruled Adeyemi hidden under the hedge to hide from his attackers, before succumbing to his injuries and dying. The police investigation took a new turn after arrest of a gang member. 4 men were arrested on suspicion of murder in 2017, but they could not be charged due to lack of evidence. A senior coroner entered an open verdict. Having listened to all the evidence, I feel unable to be satisfied beyond reasonable doubt he was unlawfully killed, but I do find his death suspicious. The body was completely skeletal, and no knife marks were found on his bones, making murder or even a cause of death hard to prove. The only indication was the hole in the chest of the shirt, which had deteriorated badly, and no evidence could be obtained. It's a story that appeared in only small sound bites and paragraphs. The only evidence to suggest any kind of wounding was the blood in his car, and the blood on his shirt, but not enough to prove he was murdered. But what is known? Adeyemi had crawled under the hedge and went so far in, the gang chasing him could never find him. Badly wounded, he died in the very same hiding place, so well hidden it was 3 years before anyone found him. Adeyemi was a clever, well-liked man. He loved his family, and he had a family that loved him. If there is a moral to this story, that sometimes when life gets tough, the easy path may seem the best option. But the truth of the matter is, you always know the right thing to do. The hard part is doing it.